All right, we are in the Canada 9-hole cup, and I'm going to practice today. Today is Thursday. There is a qualifying round, but I'm gonna practice some of these holes before I go out there. The scores this week are gonna be crazy on this course. So here is hole number one. Hole number one. Let's look at it. Now, if I remember correctly, we're hitting from this area right here and trying to run it along to get behind that tree, get past that tree, and then go for it from there. So big tapa, looks like something with lots of topspin. Big tapa, something. And I think in order to get into this zone, well, maybe I have to bring out a bigger ball to get over here, but my notes say a power 5 ball, so we'll see. We'll see what the deal is. I think that's the number 3 bag. Let me switch that up. Let me switch that. I'm going to take that big dog or cataclysm out of there and put in a sniper. I'll take that Goliath out and put in a grizzly. Let's make sure all the rest of my bags they are set up right. I have no idea what ball to bring out, so we're just going to go practice it. Practice now. Practice hole number one. Hole number one, Lake Wabasca. And what is this hole? This is hole 8, Lake Wabasca. Wabasca. It does not roll off the tongue very well. Lake Wabasca. Wabasca. I'm gonna get that right. It's not rolling off my tongue right. Here we go. Here we go. I live in an area in Oregon, in the Pacific Northwest. We have a lot of Native American tribes that were around here, and so we have a lot of stuff. Willamette and Snoqualmie and Snohomish and Chamawa. It's always interesting to see people, if there's news that happens and people are not from the area, they're Willamette, and it's the Willamette Valley, not Willamette. And I think Wabasca is probably one of those, you just got to get used to saying it. Here we go. Come on. If I can get a freaking opponent. Yeah, he started a video, but he ran out of space. No, I don't think he ever got to the hole. No, it was just I mean, come on, Playdemic. If there's nobody out there to give me a deal, you're not going to give me a replay? I mean, how long have we been at this? It seems like a long time. Really? Really? I mean, is this really the deal? I mean, I totally understand. I totally understand why people are like, we should be able to practice by ourselves. But I don't, you don't want people to be able to go out there and practice by themselves. Not unless you give them a 3-shot limit, or you did something like, hey, the minimum score on this hole is 3 shots, so you have 3 shots to get it done, and you're practicing by yourself. If they ever let people go out there just by themselves, they will, you know, shit. You spend 20 minutes on a hole. I'm trying to figure out exactly what you're going to do on the drive. Take your time, set it all up. Get on the green, didn't like that second shot, didn't get the adjustment right, so you hit it off the green, hit it back to where you're at. Try it again. Really, we are going to sit here and spin for, I mean, I've been playing this game for a long time, and I've got caught in these little spin modes and stuff. Actually wasn't able to complete a tournament one day because I just couldn't get an opponent. But like, this is crazy. Like, how long are we into this? We're 4 minutes into it, and I was talking some of the beginning. So 4:45 when I checked. We got to be at least 45 seconds into this. We got to be at least 1 minute and 45 seconds into this. I'm gonna go make a quiche, and maybe by the time I get back I'll still be spinning. Are we, like, this is like, I mean, come on. I almost feel like Playdemic is doing this stuff so that they can go to the community. Hey, we've heard your response and we've heard your stuff, and we're gonna go ahead and allow you to play all by yourself. So, and what we're gonna announce is that we're not gonna worry about duels anymore. We're just gonna do tournament stuff, so you won't have to worry about bankroll or none of that stuff, or winning chests, getting opponents. Okay, we were at 4:45, or it was. Now we're at 5:45, so we've been here at least a minute, because it was a minute there, but it was at least a couple minutes. So we're 3 minutes in. I'm gonna keep recording this just so that you can see how crazy it is. Like, really? Really? I mean, they're not even gonna give me a message saying, hey, there's no opponent found, or hey, you lost your internet connection, when I'm sitting here looking at it and it's a good internet connection. Wow. All right, let's see where we're at now. 15 seconds. It'll have been 2 minutes just since I started timing it. But we had to have been at least a minute or two into it before that. So where are we at? 4 minutes now? 2 confirmed. You could go back and watch the video and you could tell exactly how far I'm in there. But just guessing, we got to be at least 3 minutes, and pretty close to 4 now. We'll see. We shall see. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, finding an opponent. This is actually pretty funny. I'm still spinning. What's really weird is this, and I'm not sure, I may not have picked it up before with this new screen that we have here, but usually when it spins on the old screen, you could kind of get an idea what each one of the pictures were. You know, what each avatar. But here we cannot. It's just a blur. And I'm spinning. Okay. We'll see how long we can get this video before we get some kind of an error message, before Playdemic just like, hey, and I'm in the app and it's spinning, so like the app is good. Yep. And they're out of the gates, and they're coming towards the first turn, and 77's in the lead, and everybody else is going really fast. Nope, they're all done with the race. What the heck? How far are we now? We're 7 minutes, so we're 8:23. So we're almost 4 minutes from when I started timing it, and we'll just say the minute or two before that was just kind of a warm-up. So we are now officially at a minimum of 4 minutes, just from when I started. Yep. Yeah, I like playing Golf Clash. You sit there, you turn that screen on, and you hit that button, and you can walk away and fix dinner and go to work and come home, and it might still be spinning. You might have missed your turn, but it's unlikely. Yep. Here we go. This is really just absolutely crazy. And if you think about like how they do the matching and the stuff, trying to get it, because there's just, you know, like I've only got this, and I'm playing against somebody that has 2 trophies more than me, and they've been playing for longer because they got 25,000 games, and I only got 800, and they got better stuff, and we need to make it up, and we need to do the thing. Just go out there and beat them. Fuck. If you lose, you lose. If you win, you win. It's not that big a deal. It's not like it's the end of the world. It's not like you won't be able to make your mortgage payment because I lost that Tour 7 hole. I didn't get that 100K. What do we do other than buying in to get out on the course and upgrading clubs? Is that the only thing that Bankroll has? I think that might be the only thing that you do with your Bankroll. It always seemed funny to me that you work so hard to finally get enough club cards, and then they're like, yeah, you got the club cards to upgrade it to the next level, and that'll be 60,000. I remember when I first started playing, it's really important when you first start playing, if you're not an experienced player and you haven't been playing for a while and you're learning the game, to be very selective about upgrading your clubs when you first start. Because as your clubs go up, you're going to upgrade a lot of the boomerangs and a lot of those types of clubs of the world, and you're never going to use them. They're not, you know, it's great to be able to upgrade them, but I had a lot of clubs, and I had a lot of clubs that I looked at, you know, like a sniper. It might not be your cup of tea until it gets to like level 3 or level 4. You know, every club is going to be a little different. Some clubs are usable right out of the bag. Some of them you need to upgrade them just a little before they get some good stuff. And not upgrading those clubs until I had enough to upgrade it to level 3. Just to save myself the cheddar, because when you first start, you know, if you start upgrading all your clubs, you're going to run out of money real quick. Okay, we are at 11:48, and we started at 4:45. So 5:45, 6:45, 7:45, 8:45, 9:45, 10:45, 11:45, 7 minutes plus the minute or two before we started, just so that I can record a video. What's wrong with this picture? All right. I guess we're maybe not going to get to practice. We'll try it one more time. And we're starting here. We'll see what it takes here. 12:30, let's say. Did we get to our tea time early? And they're just like, it's packed up and they're not letting us out there? Wow. Wow, that only took 9 minutes, 8.5 minutes. Plus the original 2. Nice. Nice. And I got a replay. I'm not sure that's far enough down there to get out from behind the trees. Maybe just a little teeny bit farther. Maybe. Hitting it perfect. Really didn't like having to do overpower on that. I think day to day, if you were actually in the tournament, it'd probably be better to bring out a bigger power ball so that you can set it in that same spot but not have to do any overpower. My notes say plus 10 plus 0.2. 1.1 times the wind divided by wherever the hell I'm at in my club. Plus 0.2. I don't think in this wind it's going to matter. That wind's it's going to be pretty close to due headwind. Not quite. Grizzly. There's max. There's min. There's mid. What about min club? Grizzly, 2.4 divided by 1.9. 2426. Or excuse me, 16. 1.6 rings. Hitting it perfect. In the hole. That was plus 10 plus 0.2. And I do think, let me write some notes here, that was in a Grizzly. A min. So Grizzly, my Grizzly numbers are point. Man, I did that totally wrong. My Grizzly should be 0.9, 1.1, 1.4. Let's see what I actually did. I did 1.1 times 2.4, which is the wind, divided by 1.9. Where did I get the 1.9 number at? I think I got that because of my... I have no idea where I got that. I think I got it from my Hornet. And why would I use my Hornet number when I'm in my long iron? Hold on one second. All right, I was trying to do the reverse math on that to see, like, I put in, for some reason, I put in 1.9 for the ring adjustment at minimum Grizzly, and it should be 1.4. And that hit the flagpole. So if I do the reverse math, in order to come up with the same exact number that I came up with on that pull, instead of doing plus 10, I would take off 20. It'd be minus 20. I'm going to have to take that shot again just to see what the deal is. I'm going to make a note of that in my round. And I'm going to see what the deal is on that, because that is not right. Let's try that. Let's try it again. Let's make sure I practiced. And actually, what we can do here is let's go into hole number 1. Let's practice it. Let's practice it here so we're getting the same wind from the deal so we can do it. And we were getting a due headwind before, now we're getting a, that'll be a slightly side tailwind to the cup, but let's try it. If I don't end up in the right spot on the drive, I'll chip it to the spot. Ryan from the Glasgow Celtic 7. This is one of the key reasons why it's important to record yourself, because you can have the same stuff happen where you go out and you make a shot and you're thinking, wow, I got everything figured out and I'm all good to go. And then you get out on the course and you try the same stuff and it doesn't work out. And you're like, what the hell just happened? And what happened is you made a mistake on that other one and you didn't realize it because you weren't able to go back and watch your own video. Three, 5. No. I'm gonna do 4. Maybe 2 rings. Let's see if that pushes us into the sand. And I was 7,000 rings great to the left. I actually might be closer this time than I was last time. I wasn't quite at minimum grizzly. I was pretty close. And say if you take half grizzly and minimum grizzly, I was probably 60%, 70% of the way to minimum, but not quite. All right, let's try with the 0.8 times whatever the wind is. 1.4. I'm in Kingfisher this time, and I'm in Max Kingfisher, which is fine. That's 1.1 per ring. .6 divided by 1.1 plus 0.2. It's 2.1 rings. Now it's gonna gotta hit this perfect. Hitting it perfect. And the 0.8 was not a big enough of a pull, even with the plus 0.2. There's one other thing to check on here. I don't think I'm gonna learn what I want to learn from this hole, other than the fact that I like taking it with my short iron better. Close. I was going to see if I could get off the green. And some of these greens you can't get off of. Now, dude, you could have hit it like that, and we could have tried to get off the green, and we could have went back there and practiced that shot again. What were you thinking? Let me check something out. Let's do clubs. Let's do short irons. Kingfisher. Level 7. Minimum or max club with a power 5 ball. 1.1. The number doesn't change. Alright, I made that pull right, but I was off. So I'm going to have to go back and rethink what I'm doing on that hole, because I don't know why that first one went in and why the second one was so far off. Alright, hole number 2. Hole number 2. We'll work on it. I'm going to practice again later with Dunner, and I was just trying to get a little bit of time, especially on these Wabasha holes. Wabasca, excuse me. Wabasca. Let's practice. Hole number 2. Hole number 2. What is hole number 2? Ah, that's par 3 right here. Now on this par 3, there is a rough bump. I like to do the rough bump myself. I like these T-type rough bumps. On days when you got to work over the sand, we'll have to see if there's an extra adjustment we have to do. But on this particular hole, it's kind of hard to bring it around. And this is really downhill. And it's easy to end up, you're going to see, I would say the biggest fail area is going to be right over in this area. And then for those people that do the rough bump, probably right in here if you over pull or get on a headwind day and don't pull it enough. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Hole number 2. Any bag with a sniper. I should be able to do that with the navigator. I don't think we really need any curl. If that doesn't work, I'll switch immediately to a katana. It almost looked like on the one hole I didn't. I'm gonna have the hole number one. That is. It would have just been so much easier if that would have been the right number. If I can get an opponent, are we gonna do the same thing again? Thank you, Mildred. The Mildred clan. All right. Why would you call it the Mildred clan? 2.9 times 1.1. 3.19 rings. And I'm going to do a max pull even though I'm at min. 3.2. .2 rings. There's 3.2. Oh fuck! I looked up really late, and that just compounded the issue. But that's. If you go back and look, I think I hit dead center in the middle of that rough area, and I was aiming dead center at it, so I'm pretty sure it's plus 10. And there's probably some fine tuning in order to get it to drop in the cup. We may have to add on a little, like a plus, or take off a little, but I think the plus 10 for the landing area there is pretty good. That ball did work. It's a Navigator 1-to-1. At min, play max, plus 10. We'll see. All right, got a little. I remember that hole now. In the hole. All right, hole number 3. This is another one of the Wabasca holes. My notes say extra mile, power 5. The second shot should be in my Kingfisher. We shall see. Let's look at hole number 3. Let's go look at it. Practice, practice, practice. What is hole number 3? Hey. I think if I remember correctly, what we were doing is hitting from here, doing a rough bump out, bleeding out to this area, and you had a short iron to the cup. Now you could try and lay it off over here, and then you got probably wood to the cup. I'm pretty sure that's what we were doing right there. So let's see here. Number 1 bag probably. So what I got? Extra mile. Power 5. Power. Let's go. I'm not sure if we're gonna practice today, but I'm not sure if we're gonna qualify practice or if we're just practicing. So I wanted to get at least a little bit of time out here on these holes just to remember what they are. I think I've only played this hole in, has it been in 1 or 2 tournaments? And I think I only played in like 1 of those. Very limited time on these particular holes. Jungle Hunter, the Noob Golfer Club. Where's that clan? go first. Yeah, so it's definitely, definitely. And I really hate to do overpower on a shot like that. That is just... And from that angle right there, I mean, if I put any curl on, I'm going to run right into that tree. That's kind of where you need to be, and you really want to be up just a little bit further. I don't want to leave that wind in. I'm going to see what happens if I take the wind out. I mean, what will it do? There's 3. I think you're going to have to put some of that wind back in, or you're going to need to bring out a topspin boost ball. That grate to the right might clip me on that tree. Right there. And the wind is definitely carrying a little more than what it's saying. So if it's 3, it's actually... that wind definitely looked like it was carrying more than the... I suppose that's the other way you come up here. This is one of those shots that you really want to hit every time. We have a great opportunity with a short iron for freaking Albie. I mean, come on. My opponent is way short. I mean, you still got great shots from here. I still got a great shot from here with the Nirvana. Where I was really trying to get to was probably like right in this area by the tree. It's kind of where I wanted to get to. I think you can get a little bit deeper than that, but just dropping it out there. Now, we all know that my opponent can make it with a Nirvana, and we all know that maybe that's where my opponent wanted to hit it. But why would you waste a practice token to come out and play with a Marlin, and then like, hey, I really want to hit that spot my opponent hit over there. Why don't I hit to that spot so I can really try that shot out, as opposed to taking a rough iron shot? I mean, are we playing or are we practicing? My notes say +0, -1 to the cup, -0.1. Let's see where I'm at. Hammond Kingfisher, max, min, there's mid, I'm eking towards the max, kind of in between. .4, that's 4 rings. It's 1.1 per ring. Hitting it perfect. Just! And if I wouldn't have taken that 0.1 off, I would have been in the hole. So it might just be a wind direction thing, and since we have stable winds this week, we could probably just do the +0 right there and we'd be just good. +0. Circled the max. This might be a thing for a topspin boost ball. If it's that, because man, I really just don't want to get into that area down there and have to do overpower. I think we have a serious opportunity for Albie right there. This is going to be a low scoring tournament, and we have got to be in the right spot on our drive shots for these second shots to give ourselves an opportunity on every freaking hole. And I think that whatever it takes to get in that spot is what people are going to end up doing, and we need to be there with them. Hole number 4, Maple Bay. Hole number 4. And I got no notes at all on this. I think the shot that I really like to take here is there is a rough bump right here going right to the cup. But you've got to get that wind adjustment right, and I'm not sure exactly what it is. So let's go practice it. I know we say plus 10% on a lot of these holes, and that's because a lot of these holes it's plus 10%. These are all, you have to understand that if it seems like that, that's because they're all made up numbers. So a lot of these little micro adjustment, there's always been secondary wind effect, and there's always been some adjustments to make, but we've really gotten, and all of these numbers are just made up by Playdemic so that they can, you know, because it change, and you can see it changes from one round to the next. Even if the wind's exactly the same, one round you did something, and the next round you hit it perfect, and it does not do the same thing. There's max. There's man. Max. There's mid. So I'm at mid club. Mid Grizzlies, 1 per ring. So if we add it on 10%, it'd be 5.5. Five. Isn't it perfect? And I barely hit the rough. So I would say on a headwind day, we'd need to do at least 15 or 20. Headwind, possibly 20%. And that might be the deal on all the days. But if this is the, and I don't know what kind of wind we're going to get in the tournament, so let's see what kind of movement my opponent does. So they're more towards Min Club. Min Grizzlies 1.4. So 4.1 divided by 1.4. Now they're eyeballing it. Should be 2.92 rings, and they moved at 5. And they're putting overpower on it, and they're putting curl on it. That was a weird shot setup for my opponent for where they ended up. Perfecto. All right. I'm gonna work on that hole. I definitely want to do more than the 10. So that area that's down there where I set my ball up. So in this area I was able to get 2 rings into that area, and I did plus 10. So I was like 2 rings away from the sand, and it pushed me almost into the sand. I barely hit the rough right there. And at 1 per ring, that's 2 miles an hour. So it pushed me off 2 miles an hour coming from this direction at 4.5. And that's a big adjustment. I'm gonna change this to 20 and see what the deal is on it. All right, hole number 5. What is hole number 5? Let's just get at least a look at all the holes so we have some idea. Now, the hole right there was with the Grizzly. And I used a nav. My Grizzly has 1.1. Actually, 0.9, 1.1, 1.4. Hole number 5. All right, I'm not sure. It seems to me, I saw one of my teammates hit the Albie on this. He posted it in the clan chat, and what he did is he got down into this area. He had a 3-power ball, used a sniper, went from here, bounced over, and did a second bounce rough bump, and then got into the cup. I want to go right to that spot and just do a first bounce rough bump right into the cup. But I think in order to get that done, I need to bring out a bigger club than the sniper, or I need to bring out a bigger ball so that I got enough length for my sniper. I'm going to try it with a Guardian. It seems to me, if I remember correctly, that I played this hole with a Guardian, but I can't. The first thing that I thought of when I saw this hole was Guardian, so let's see if we can get it done. And I'm not sure which one of these bags I really want to use. I'd really like to use my rock. And I'm just going to make a choice that I'm going to use either my rock or I'm going to use my Thor's hammer, whichever looks better. I'm going to start off with a Thor's hammer and a Titan, the king of balls. Canada, 9-hole cup. Yes. Yes. Practice. 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 I'm pretty sure that it is a Guardian. And just a power 3 ball. I don't think I need to bring out anything special, but we're going to find out. It may be one of those situations where you need to bring out a power 4 ball just for the second shot, not for the first one. Because you definitely don't need a bigger power ball on the drive. The Big Chill. Oh, you can connect to Facebook to see which ones of your friends are playing, and they'll flash that shit to you non-stop while you're out on the course, while you're in the bathroom, while you're in the lobby, or you're checking your clubs. It doesn't matter. They're going to flash you and spam you non-stop. Okay, there's max top spin, and that looks like I'm going to do one less than max. Three, 4, 3.4. Don't do anything extra, it's just 2 rings, but I'm gonna do, well, let's just do 2 and see what happens. Hitting it perfect. Let's see what my trajectory is like. See if it pushed me closer to the rough on the right hand side. Pretty much right down the middle. 329. One less than max topspin. And that was with no OP. That was just tapping it out there. And I'd pulled way back from the red line, so I mean that position should work no matter whether it's headwind, tailwind. My opponent got a little deeper. 340. There is room on the table. Yep. Yeah, you'll have to bring out a bigger power ball just to get to that spot, because I don't think there's enough. If I hit it all the way to the very end, just tried to get all the distance that I could possibly get, I still think I'm going to be short with a 3 power ball. I'm right in front of my opponent, and my opponent they're doing the second bounce rough bump with the sniper. I mean, that may be the shot. I could have swore there's another hole in this game that's very similar to this one. And I sometimes get these two holes confused, but I could have sworn that if you got up there, there is a first bounce rough bump, and I really like first bounce rough bumps a little better than second bounce rough bumps. If you're off on the first bounce, then you're going to be way off on the rough bump bounce. My opponent hit 2 rings great to the right. Let's see if I can get there from here, or whether or not... No, I should be able to. My opponent had a 1 power ball. Yeah, you can barely get there. So this is the 4 power. Okay, I'm at max club. It should be 4 rings and a little. It's 1.1 per ring. So there's 4-4. Hitting it perfect. In the hole! Is that 4.5 divided by 1.1? 4.1 rings, and that's what I did. 4.1. And that was just straight up. My notes say plus at max. I just did straight up. My notes say plus 10 minus 1, but I think just the plus 0 did fine. Did fine. All right. We've had a look at that hole. I'm really... You either have to get all the way to the tip, and I don't know which way the wind's blowing. Let's see. Man, it's not going to tell us in the thing either unless we're on that hole. So I'm not sure which way the wind's blowing, but I really like the first bounce rough bump better. That I think bringing out a power 4 ball, at least, depending on which way the wind's blowing. If the wind's blowing in the tournament where it's coming in headwind, then either we're going to have to do the bounce over, the second bounce rough bump, or bring out a power 5 ball to try and get up into that spot. The key there, if we go look at that hole, the key is getting as far down in that sucker as possible. Now, I think my opponent was like maybe 10, 13 yards ahead of me. And then I was just slightly ahead of them on the second shot. But that little bit of distance, especially with the power 3 ball, I mean, my red line was in here. If I pushed up against it, I could have got there with overpower. But just trying to pick up that extra distance. And that was with a freaking Guardian, which hits, what, 7 or 8 more than a sniper? So really, if you want to get to that spot consistently, if we had any wind blowing anywhere on this side of the line, we could get there with a 4 power ball. But if we've got headwind, and we don't get all of the distance here, we could have a problem working out the wind on the other side. So it might be better if your inventory allows it to bring out a power 5 ball if you wanted to do the first bounce rough bump. If you want to do the second bounce rough bump, you can do it with any ball. My opponent did it right there with a Quasar, so I probably would have brought out a little bit bigger ball just to make sure if you didn't get all your distance down here that you don't get into a spot where you can't hit this spot right. But we do have options. Options. Hole number 6. Hole number 6. Now, if I remember correctly on this hole, there is a spot right here that you can do to try and bring it around through the trees and bring it over here to the cup. And I was not actually trying to go to the cup. I was actually trying to go off to the side out here and give myself a chip on. To try and get it going all the way to the hole was a little bit tougher than trying to just bring it around so that it bleeds out into this area. But I'm gonna have to play it. We'll play it. We'll just go play it. Hole number 6. I think see here. They've been in the Lakeside and the Rocky Mountain tournament. I might have played in both of those tournaments. So we've only played these holes twice. Hole number 6. Make sure I was. Hole number 6. We'll see how long it takes me to get an opponent now. I've been getting opponents faster than I did the first time, that's for sure. I grew a beard trying to get somebody for hole number 1. 51-13, 51. Here we go. This game has been out long enough that here's the problem. Okay, I hear people all the time talk about, like, with the chests, getting stuff in the chest. I'm here to tell you that if you play higher tours, you will get better prizes, and you can upgrade your clubs faster. Man, that's fucking narrow. 264. If I did it straight up, it'd be 2.64. And I'm not going to do any overpower, and I'm not going to put any curl, but I am going to lean. Hitting it perfect. And that was not quite 4 topspin. And that was too much. I wanted to hit that rough, and I came out of that rough and missed it. Came out of that spot, didn't clip the rough. And my opponent's starting on the other side over there, so they got a little bit more leeway instead of that narrow ass little spot that I'm hitting into. And then they'll have, if they bleed out from there, that's a pretty short, that's a pretty nice little chip. See how my opponent does. What kind of chip do they got from there? Oh, I think I like that better. I think you can get closer with the one that I did, but I think the having it open might be better. I'm going to try that hole one more time. One more time. I'm going to try it from my opponent's side and see what that looks like out there. The thing about the spot where I'm setting up on that is that if you hit it one ring great to the left or the right, you might miss the spot, and or you might hit the spot, but you're so close to the trees right there that it might end up hitting the trees. My opponent seemed like they were more out in the open. Winner, winner. Yeah, let's try that one more time. Let's try it one more time. Hole number 6. What's funny is I have 2 things going, and one of them gives me 2 practice tokens, and one of them gives me... No, I got 2 things going, and each of them give me 1 practice token. I started off with 3. Only Playdemic could screw up a 6-shooter. If I can get an opponent. Maybe. 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 My opponent goes first. Let's see which side they start on. Let's see if they start in the same spot that I was in. I got a nav. And they eyeballed it, and I have no idea. They moved it for the win, but I didn't think they really needed to put any overpower on it, but maybe they did. Maybe they did. It's hard to tell when people eyeball it whether or not, like, what the deal is. You can't go off shit like that. Let's put it all. Let's put it all. Okay, I'm at the +4 mark. I'm gonna do a +20, so I'm gonna do, it's should be 3 rings. It's 1.7 per ring. If I did a 5-mile-an-hour pull. Hitting it perfect. I think that's strictly just the deal of not having enough curl. I like the Thor's hammer because it's given me a lot of ball guide, but it is a little short on raw distance, and I pulled it back from the red line there, so in the hole. I'm gonna get a standardized shot on this. Not in the hole. All right. All right, I understand what I need to do here. I got it. That's a hole right there we got to get an eagle on too. Whatever it takes. Hole number 7, this par 3. Let's see. Let's just go out there and play it. My notes say +60%. +0.1. 2 backspin. Sniper katana. Sniper katana. Or as my Canadian friend Dale Appleby says, katana. Here we go. Are we? All right. I'll have to go back with a stopwatch and go back when I watch the video and time. How much time on this video was spent waiting for an opponent? It was like that when the game first came out. It was kind of hard. Well, there wasn't as many people playing. It was kind of hard sometimes to get an opponent. And you got replays, but the replays were a little bit easier than they are nowadays. Nowadays, shit, if you don't hit it within 2 yards and you're on a replay, you're going to lose. They really made those replays tough. Which means that you have to play more in order to get, you know, it's a you're going to play more. You're going to play more replays. And you're going to win less. Because I'm sure if they took the average on a hole like this and they said, what's the average player's distance from the cup? If you're playing a replay, they're usually within a couple yards. 3.4 times 1.6 equals. backspin. .44 rings. And I left it a little short because I wasn't sure how it was going to roll out, because I didn't want it to roll off the back of this. But I think I could have cut that distance down and got a little bit closer. But that was with a plus 60% adjustment. And that was pretty close to being online. I mean, my distance sucked, but that was pretty close to being on track. Birdie. It's a draw. So what I was saying earlier was that with all of the people, you know, if you think about how these games work. So in year one, this game became a big sensation and it drew a lot of attention and a lot of people started playing, and it was bringing in new players. But I would like to see, like, because usually these games have like a 7-year shelf life and they have to make some pretty big changes. They still have their whales. This group up here at the top that spends the max amount of money is going to come, but bringing in new players into that fold. Obviously, the first year you get a big chunk. I would love to see what the numbers were. Like, how many new players were there in year one, and how many new players were there in year two. I would imagine that this number is not getting bigger. That people are going to play, like, we are getting new players into the game, but I would imagine that each year this number is getting smaller and smaller. And there's a big discrepancy between people that have played for 3, 4, 5 years and people who are just started playing, as far as, like, you know, getting clubs, or how long. Shit, if it's going to take an average person down here, if they don't go up to Masters, you know, 2 or 3 years to get some pretty good, you know, I would think that in the first year you can max out all your commons, depending on how much you're playing. Maybe the first 6 to 8 months, depending on where you're playing. But getting your epics up to usable levels, it takes forever and a day. That the game has been out for long enough that I'm surprised that they don't have a starter pack where you could, like, you know, you always go, oh, you're buying your clubs because, hey, if you're buying packs, you know, you could say you're buying your clubs. You know, you're anytime you have an opportunity to open up a chest, we're farmers. But I think the game's been out long enough that they could have a starter pack that sets you up with clubs that are, you know, your commons are at level 7 and your rares are at level 4 or 5, to kind of get you through those beginning stages to get newer players up. There is something to be said about learning how to play with your clubs when they're shit and then getting better and better and better, but there is a grind to get your clubs up. And if we're bringing in new players to the game, how many of them are interested in spending that time to grind their clubs up? They could have a starter package. Hole number 8. What is hole number 8? All right, I'm playing to this spot right here. I don't care which way the wind's blowing. This spot over here, there's several ways that you can go to the cup, and you're going to need to take this shot a few times to make sure that you're not in a red line issue, but there is a rough bump that you can do right there. What I find is that it can be challenging to get over to here because of of how this is shaped. It's shaped like this. And unless you bring out a super big ball, you know, you're like, hey, and I'm not far enough over here, so I need to push the ball forward so that I can get farther on this side. But when you push the ball forward, you roll down the side, and now it's running flat, and it actually shortens it on the other side. You got to pull it back. But there's only so far you can pull it back, or you're not long enough. It's tricky to get over here. On headwind days, we may have to bring out a big ball in order to take that shot, but on tailwind days, you can bring out a 3-power ball and you should be able to do that. Let's see what it looks like. Let's see what the wind is that we're getting. The benefit of coming out here with a power 5 ball is that on a lot of days you don't have to do any overpower. And on headwind days, you may not have to do max overpower. You may just be able to do a little bit. Whereas if you bring out a power 3 ball, you're probably only going to be able to use it on days that we have favorable wind, and it's almost always going to be with overpower, unless you use the wind. Help your clanmates by sharing your amazing shots with your clan. Now my opponent has a power 3 ball, and they're going to be able to get up there. That's good. That's good. I guess we can do it with a power 3, unless the wind was... Yeah, there's max OP with the power 3. Wow. Oh, well, they got an APOC 8. Well, that really, as far as raw distance goes, it doesn't matter. Did they change their spin on that, or did they leave... If they hit that area, are they actually... Yep. Good. Nice. That works. It works. Let's see if we can get this to... Man, I don't like that. I think the 2 was good. I need 2 and a sliver. 3, 4. I'm going to do 4. Isn't it perfect? I needed to do it all. That little bit of wind really killed it. Killed it. But that is definitely the area over there. It's easy to get where you get 1 bounce. If you get up there deep enough, you can get 1 bounce, and then you miss the rough with the 2nd bounce, and it actually ends up, everything was good, and then you end up in the rough on the back side of the green. Kind of where I'm at. Then you got to take this crappy shot. That might go in if the wind was a factor. And it was not. Close. And then it curled around, and it's on the backside. It's directly on the backside of the hole. There we go. All right, that's how we're playing that one. That's another one of those ones. That's another par 4 right there. We've got to get on a 1 and get it. All of the par 4s are like, we've got to get all 3 of those. That's 15 right there. And there are so many of these other holes that we can put ourselves in the right spot, or we can be in a freaking par 5 with a short iron. I mean, I just don't see any way where this isn't going to be a... I mean, you're going to have to shoot minus 15 or 16 just to be in the conversation. And you'll probably have to shoot... I would say 15 is the minimum just to get into the conversation, but I think you're going to have to shoot, we're going to have to shoot a 16 plus in order to have any shot at a banner. And this is going to be a low scoring tournament. Hole number 5, hole number 9, hole number 9, par 5. What is hole number 9? This is Lake Wabasca. Now, let me think if I can, let me see if I can remember how the hell we were playing this hole. I think what we were doing was trying to get into this area down here, coming through like this and trying to get down into that area and have this shot to the cup. If I remember correctly. I'm not sure. Extra mile, my notes say extra mile Kingmaker. Pull back to the +8 mark. 5 topspin. 1.15 times whatever the wind is. My notes say plus 8 mark, extra mile, Kingmaker, 5 topspin, plus 15 on the drive. Second shot should be in long iron, should be max. And I was doing plus 0, plus 0.2 to the cup. We'll see if that works. Mildred. The Mildred clan again. Colin goes first. And that's probably more tops. Well, maybe. Let's see where that goes. I thought they ran all the topspin on it, but I could be wrong on that. Extra mile, 5 topspin, 3, 4, 5, plus 8 mark. Plus 15, 3, 2. How about 2.1? 1.75 ranks. Hitting it perfect. We'll see if that second bounce clears. It was pretty damn close. And it did. And I'm not interested. I don't think that I need to be interested in getting all the way to the end. I think the whole deal is to where I'm at, I should be in pretty good shape. It does look like there's a rough bump here. I think before I brought a Saturn. And I might have brought a Saturn just for the... You could use a Goliath. Goliath might actually be the club on this. We'll see where that second shot's at. Ooh. We'll see. Grizzly. Do I have enough topspin to get me up there? Maybe. And now. Maybe. Man, my club. There's max. There's min. There's mid. .2. Let's think here. I'm eking towards minimum Grizzly. .28 rings. I was thinking about where I wanted to hit that in my club, so my Grizzly hits 0.9, 1.1, 1.4. The Power 3 ball. Let's make sure we got this right. There's min, so there's max, there's mid. I'm so close to that in between. I'm at 1.4 per ring. So we'll just do the 1.4. 2, 4, 5. 3.21 rings. There's 3, 2, 1. Oh! And I think it would be better to bring a Saturn there or a Goliath, one of the two. You're obviously, I think with the Saturn it might actually be better, because I'd probably be, I think my Saturn, my Grizzly hits a little bit farther than my Saturn, and it might put my Saturn more right at Min. .124 to 129. So with the Saturn, I might be right at Min. Maybe more towards mid. I know when I went back and watched a video on this, on these Wabasca holes, so that I could try and get, make sure I knew what I was doing. And the last time we played it, I had a Saturn in my bag on this, and it might have been just for that topspin to do that rough bump. And you could use your Goliath. It's going to be, they're pretty much, there's not much to choose from between the Goliath and the Saturn other than distance. More topspin, but as far as accuracy and ball guide goes, they're the same. All right, there you have it. I got a chance to look at all of the holes before I go out there and play them. I'm going to hopefully Denner will call me here in just a little bit. I texted him. We texted each other this morning, and we are going to play a couple rounds, and hopefully we can get that done today. Thanks for watching. Hopefully everybody, hopefully there was something everybody might have picked up on that, or I made massive mistakes and you can go, dummy, that's not how we're doing it. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and have a great tournament this week, and I will catch you on the next one.